In this video, I'm going to share with you the ultimate tropical northern Queensland travel guide. Hi friends, my name is Dane Luca. I am a travel vlogger from the UK. After spending a year away traveling around the world, I found myself applying for a working holiday visa down under. I'm spending the next couple of years exploring this beautiful country of Australia. If you find this video useful, please consider subscribing down below for future travel inspiration, travel guides, advice and tips. I post videos every single week, so if you're looking for more travel inspiration, please head over to my channel where I have so many other series you can binge. So, 28 things you can do from Cairns, let's go. First of all, is it Cairns or is it Cairns? I don't know. For this trip, I would recommend at least 7 nights. This is the perfect amount of time to explore all that tropical North Queensland has to offer. And let me tell you, it has a lot to offer. I sound like a salesperson. I'm really not, I'm just giving you guys a travel guide. It's likely that you are going to land in Cairns Airport, which is a short 10 to 15 minute drive by Uber or public bus down to Cairns City. Cairns City itself has a very laid-back vibe, which I loved. You can find yourself chilling by the lagoon, going on one of the many day tours, or even eating out at one of the many restaurants. They've got quirky little bars, cafes, restaurants, clubs. I think it really has something to suit everyone. If you are coming to the tropical North Queensland area, I would recommend getting either a camper van or getting a rental car. These can be quite inexpensive depending on what time of the year you go. Personally, I went during the Australian winter, so I did this trip earlier this year. In July, me and a few friends, we got a rental van from Travelers Autobahn and we spent 7-8 days traveling around this beautiful area. I will say all these things that I mentioned in the video, all 28 of them, can be done as day trips from Cairns City through organised tours or just exploring from Cairns. I will also leave down below a blog post that will go into much more detail and give you guys just like a written guidance of like everything I talk about in this video and plenty more other things you can do on a trip to tropical North of Queensland. So let's get into it. The number one reason that you have come to the tropical North Queensland is either for the beautiful ancient Daintree rainforest or the Great Barrier Reef. Fun fact, the Great Barrier Reef is actually the same size as Italy. Who would have thought? So I would recommend spending at least a day or two at the beginning of your trip exploring Cairns. You might decide to go and do an introductory scuba dive course. I didn't do this, but my friends that I was with did and they loved it. If you've never scuba dived before, they have scuba diving for different levels and there are so many tour operators around the lagoon and town area, so you can just book these. So if you're not into scuba diving, there are several other day tours that you can do for a more chill vibe, such as the Fitzroy Island tour, and then you have the Green Island tour. This is the one that I personally did. Loved it. It was very windy the day I went. You can check out the video I did down below. I'll link it somewhere here. And if you're a big foodie like me and love markets, there is Cairns Night Markets, which is in the centre of the town. I believe it's open most nights. Other things to do in Cairns include going to the botanical gardens. This is quite an underrated activity, but I went and it was so beautiful. If you're looking for a more chill vibe, you can also go and chill by the famous Cairns Lagoon. I feel the temperatures up in this end of Australia are generally very warm to hot, so it makes it a great place to go all year round. Beware, there is a wet season. If you're feeling more adventurous, head out onto a helicopter ride onto the Great Barrier Reef. This is something that I really wanted to do, but unfortunately I ran out of time just because we were so busy with everything else. But if I go back to Cairns, I'm definitely doing this. I will also say that you don't have to do these things in the order that I'm telling you. I've just done these in this order and I found it quite useful. Just north of Cairns City, we have Mossman, which is the home to Mossman Gorge, which was one of my highlights of this trip. The Mossman Gorge is situated in the beautiful Daintree rainforest, which is the oldest rainforest in the world. You can spend a few hours here. The entry is around $15 and that allows you to do the trail, which is about an hour long, and then you can take a dip in the gorge, which was absolutely beautiful. Given that it's quite warm in Queensland, it's so nice to go for a dip in the gorge. I could have swam around in there for hours. Also, good place for pictures. So as you're driving a bit north, you're going to see lots of signs for river cruises, crocodile cruises, all that crazy stuff. Highly recommend you do one of these tours. It really allows you to see the wildlife that is in Australia from the safety of a boat. Me and my friend went with Bruce Belcher's Crocodile River Cruise and it was amazing. I think we spent about 2 hours going up and down the Daintree River, and we saw so many snakes, spiders, loads of crocodiles, which I loved because if you come into Australia, of course, you're going to want to see some crocodiles, which is one of Australia's most famous animals. So to get from one side of the Daintree to the other, you will need to take the ferry, which is $45 return. It takes about 5 minutes to go from one side to the other. Just to make you aware, once you cross the river, forget about having cell service. I completely lost cell service for like 2 days when I went to the Daintree rainforest, which was fine because I was able to fully immerse myself in where I was. One thing I highly recommend you do if you do have a van rental, RV or a car, spend a night in the Daintree rainforest. It was so beautiful. We personally stayed at the Daintree Rainforest Village. It was around $70 for a powered site for 3 of us, but it was so beautiful to just wake up in nature. There was like this mountainous area around us, it's all green, and it was just peaceful. After crossing the river, you are going to be officially in the Daintree rainforest, and there is so many things to see and do here. One of the things that we spent a morning doing was the Madja boardwalk. It's just like a short boardwalk that you can do, but you can just really immerse yourself in the Daintree rainforest. It's so peaceful. I absolutely loved it. As you continue your journey up to the Cape Tribulation area, you can stop off on other places like Mile Beach and Mason's swimming hole, which was stunning. I will just say that like Australia is known for crocodiles, especially this part of the country. There were signs everywhere for cassowary crossings, you know, don't go in the sea, don't go in the water because there's crocodiles, sharks, stingers, all that stuff. You know, all those fun things that can kind of kill you. So once you've reached the Cape Tribulation beach, you are going to be in awe at the beauty of this area. You've got this ancient rainforest with these turquoise blue waters and then these long beautiful stretches of beaches. I think this area is one of the only places in the world where 2 World Heritage Sites meet. You have the Great Barrier Reef with the backdrop of the Daintree rainforest. A food recommendation I have whilst you're here is the Wet Cafe. The food here was so yummy. There's not that many places to eat, but I would recommend this. Firstly, cakes are banging. And you get to see a big spider. When we were eating, there was this massive spider, Margaret. I'm a bit fearful of animals, as I'm sure everyone is, but it's just exciting to be in a country like Australia and just really see all the wildlife it has to offer. After exploring the Cape Tribulation area, I would recommend staying a night in the Cape Tribulation area. We booked the Ocean Safari tour for the following morning, so we decided to stay at Ocean Safari Lodge the night before, which was a beautiful campsite. There are so many cool campsites. I definitely recommend you get a camper van if you can. The Ocean Safari tour do 2 tours per day. They either do a morning one or an afternoon one, and they take you out on a small group tour to the Mackay Reef. And oh my god, it is so beautiful. You have the reef completely to yourself as they drop you in the middle of the ocean in these crystal blue waters, and you can really just swim around with no one around you. And then they take you to a beautiful sand cay. I have never been on a sand cay until I came on this tour. So if you are going to do one thing out of all these 28 things I mentioned in this video, do the Ocean Safari tour from Cape Tribulation. They are not paying me to say this, I just had an amazing time. To get any further north than Cape Tribulation, you are going to need a 4x4 vehicle, and that is where we are going to stop our trip there. We did not have a 4x4 vehicle, and that is what you need to get to Cape York. So we're going to head back down towards Cairns, and we're going to stop at Port Douglas for the night. It's a really beautiful place. It's a nice little seaside village. It's known for having really beautiful resorts. There's a lot of great places to eat. We spend the afternoon/evening there. One of my favourite places in Port Douglas was the 4 Mile Beach. There's a beautiful little viewing platform you can go to and, you know, just take a nice little morning walk on 4 Mile Beach. The following day, I would recommend going to Thala Beach Reserve. This isn't necessarily a tourist attraction, and there are signs to say, you know, be respectful, but there is just a massive field of beautiful palm trees, and I've never seen anything like it. So I would spend about 5 minutes here just taking a few pictures, but also do be respectful. There is a resort further down the road, so I believe that the palm tree field is part of that resort. Another beautiful place to stop for food, lunch, chill at the beach is Palm Cove. This again is another beach that is lined with beautiful palm trees. You've got the golden sand, cool looking restaurants everywhere. I would say it is a bit more of a pricier place, but I still visited for the experience because I just found it was really beautiful. Okay, so next up is Kuranda Village. So you can actually take the Kuranda Scenic Railway from Cairns. I believe that will set you back about $100 to $200. I'll put the price on screen. I didn't get to go on it, but it looks amazing. Instead, what we did is we drove about 20 minutes outside of Cairns City to Kuranda Village, where you could easily spend a full day exploring this area. There is so much to do. One of the places that you need to hit up is Kuranda markets, which are only open at the weekends. The reason it is so special is because the markets are situated in the oldest rainforest in the world. Like, when do you ever get that? So you could easily spend a few hours exploring the markets, grabbing some food. It's very like hippy dippy, which I love. Lots of incense, lots of funky clothes. And it's just nice to explore a cool little area like that. There's also a few other waterfalls around the Kuranda village. Any country that I travel, I love to get a sense of the culture in the country. And in Australia, it's the Aboriginal culture. So they actually have the Rainforestation Nature Park, which I was able to do the Pamagiri Aboriginal experience. So I would recommend this. I had so much fun learning about Aboriginal culture. We got to see some Aboriginal dancing, have our try at throwing some boomerang. We then got to see some spears get thrown and hear a didgeridoo. It was amazing. As you're coming towards the end of your Tropical North Queensland adventure, make sure you set aside a full day to see all the beautiful waterfalls at the Atherton Tableland. First piece of advice, you're going to want to start the morning early at Mila Mila Falls. I believe this is one of the most famous and beautiful waterfalls in Australia, and the reason I say get there early is because it's one of the main tourist attractions. So lots of group tours and buses will turn up at several points during the day. But if you have your own rental, you can get there 8 AM, there's no one there, and it's absolutely beautiful. You can swim under the waterfall, as I attempted to do in this video that I'll link somewhere here. After Mila Mila Falls, there is a waterfalls scenic route that you can do, which includes Zila Zila Falls and Alenia Falls. The final falls that you're going to want to have a look at is Josephine Falls, which is so much fun. Again, tropical North Queensland can be very warm, so this makes a great place to have a nice little afternoon dip with the sun beaming down through all the trees. It is stunning. The cool thing about this waterfalls is that it has a natural rock slide. You do have to be careful because I know that some people have actually died in the past because there is rapids, there is waterfalls, but mostly it's generally safe. So that wraps up our Tropical North Queensland adventure. I have only included these things that I've done from personal experience and a few other things. There is so much more to do in Tropical North Queensland. So I highly recommend you come and visit here. If you're a backpacker, it's a great place to go to have like great adventures. I've personally been to this area twice now, and I'll probably go back again just because it's so much fun. If you enjoy these videos and you want to see more of what Queensland has to offer, I will link my series down below. I did a 4-part series of van life in tropical North Queensland where we went to all these places. So if you're curious, what is he talking about? You can go and check it out in my video. If you have found this video useful, please consider giving the video a thumbs up. Leave some comments down below, and most importantly, the best way to support my channel is by subscribing. I would really appreciate that. Overall, I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope it has inspired you to go on a trip to tropical North Queensland. So I'll finish this video here by saying take care guys and peace out.